You know how to.
We're ready to go. We're live streaming.
I'd like to call to order this February 3rd meeting of the Executive Committee of the Richmond Regional Transportation Planning Organization. Chet, will you please inform folks how they can join us remotely?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. We do have a Zoom webinar platform set up for those following from home. There is a Q&A function at the bottom of the screen. If you'd like to ask any questions of the Executive Committee, or even following this meeting, there's a meeting of the full Policy Board. Staff will be monitoring the Zoom window and making sure that the committee members are aware of any questions that arise. Otherwise, I think we have Dr. Newbill joining us remotely. Everyone else on the Executive Committee is here in person.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman.
Everybody surviving this winter weather that we've been having recently?
So far.
Yes.
Made it this far.
Today's beautiful.
Yes, I actually is.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yeah, today seemed a bit anomalous compared to what we've been going through, but
Correct.
I understand it's going to get even warmer tomorrow, so that's something to look forward to.
Yes, it is.
As far as do we have a quorum? You need to call the roll, I believe, right?
Yes. Town of Ashland, Mr. Hodges,
Here.
Ms. Barnhart. Charles City County, Mr. Coda. Chesterfield County, Mr. Holland.
Here.
Ms. Haley. Goochland County, Mr. Lumpkin.
Here.
Ms. Lascalette.
Here.
Hanover County, Mr. Peterson. Mr. Davis. Henrico County, Ms. O'Bannon. Mr. Thornton.
Here.
New Kent County, Ms. Page.
Here.
Mr. Tiller. Powhatan County, Mr. Williams.
Here.
Chair Williams, sorry. And Ms. Carmack. City of Richmond, Dr. Newbill.
Here.
Thank you, Dr. Newbill. And Mr. Addison. Mr. Chair, that concludes the roll call, and we do have a quorum.
All right, Ms. Firestone. Do we have any amendments to the meeting this morning?
No.
Then I will ask for a motion for approval of the last minutes from our October 4th meeting. So I have
So
a
moved,
motion.
Mr. Chair.
I have a motion from Dr. Newbill for approval of the minutes. Do I have a second? Mr. Hodges is second. Any discussion? Would you call the roll, Ms. Firestone?
Yes, sir. Town of Ashland, Mr. Hodges.
Aye.
Chesterfield County, Mr. Holland.
Aye.
Goochland County, Mr. Lumpkins.
Aye.
Ms. Lascalette.
Aye.
New Kent County, Ms. Page. Powhatan County, Chair Williams.
Aye.
City of Richmond, Dr. Newbill.
Aye.
Thank you, Dr. Newbill. That concludes the roll call for the minutes.
Thank you, Ms. Firestone. This brings us to our first open public comment period. Anyone wishing to come forward, please give your name, your address. We will provide you with 3 minutes. If you represent an organization, please provide us with the name of your organization, and we will provide you with 5 minutes. Chet, do we have anybody remote that would like to address the executive committee?
We don't have a request, but we do have a comment in the Q&A from Barb Smith of Chesterfield County saying that the audio and video is greatly improved. Thank you very much.
Wonderful.
We made it. Thank you, staff. This has been quite a journey, hasn't it? Okay. That moves us to the chair's report. The chair really doesn't have anything to share this morning, nothing you have to worry about. So that will move us to the secretary's report.
Yes, Mr. Chair, thank you very much. I don't really have a whole lot to report other than that there is some a lot of discussion and action over the past few weeks, and many of you are involved with that regarding our property decisions that are upcoming by the Planner VA Commission. And we do have Mr. Winslow here joining us this morning, but I just wanted to share that things are moving forward, and it looks like the February 10th Plan RVA meeting will be momentous in possibly coming to a conclusion of that search. And staff has been involved and will continue to be so, but anyone from this committee or the full policy board that wishes to have more information, please make sure to reach out to me or Martha or Eric or other staff as needed.
Any questions for staff? Mr. Parsons? Yes, Ms. Oscar.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I've heard through the grapevine, so you know how that works, right? That all of the locations that are being considered are within the city of Richmond?
I think that the locations that are being considered are still confidential. If that is correct,
Okay.
Martha.
Want me to tune into that?
Please.
Please.
Yeah, so we started with a list of 25 properties. They were across the region, satisfying the criteria that we set of regionally, centrally located. So we did a drive time analysis of all of the courthouse areas for each of the counties, the county administration offices. We obviously didn't go to the far ends of every county on the flanking part of the region, but we tried to kind of map that and did a drive time analysis, and that was what dictated the parameters for that initial search. And that list from 25 properties has been narrowed, Mr. Winslow, correct me if I'm wrong, to 10, I believe, then to 8, Mr. Holland, then to 3, and now it's down to 2 for consideration over the next week. And the two remaining properties are located in the city of Richmond limits. Yeah.
Correct.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you, Martha. Any other questions for staff? If not, I will go to the next item on the agenda, which is review of selected RRTPO agenda topics. Mr. Parsons.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. There's just a few items on the policy board agenda for this morning. We are looking at a proposed amendment to the bylaws and policy guidance for the Richmond Area Metropolitan Planning Organization. There is action requested for that item, and the proposed amendments were included in the agenda packets. I do have a couple updates on our Unified Planning Work Program. One for an expected amendment of our existing work program, which we are under until June 30th, and then proposed priority items for our upcoming fiscal year 23 work program, which starts July 1st. So this is really information only at this point, but I wanted to bring it to your attention. The last thing is we do have one requested amendment to the agenda to include an action item opening a public review period for a bicycle pedestrian plan. We do need the policy board to take action to approve that review period to be officially opened, and we'll give the time frame for that and a brief presentation.
Okay, and Mr. Parsons, you're gonna make a motion to amend the agenda when we get to the policy board meeting?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Anything else?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Ms. Lescalet.
you mind if I ask a question about that? I'm just curious on process. So if that review period were not to be approved, what does that mean? I mean, what would happen?
We would hope that the review period would be approved at some
I'm
point.
not talking about I'm just asking process now.
Yes, we need the review period to be able to keep the plan moving forward and move towards adoption.
Right.
So if the review period was not approved for the time period requested, we would hope that we could come back at a later point, but it would delay the process and push it out farther into the future.
Okay, thank you. Like I said, I'm not discussing the policy, I'm just understand the process. Thank you.
At this point, I'm going to be making a motion to go into closed session on a personnel matter. And I'm gonna make the motion. The motion is I move that the executive committee convene in closed session pursuant to Virginia Freedom of Information Act, section 2.2-3711A1, motion to convene in a closed session pursuant to the Freedom of Information Act, section 2.2-3711A1, for the purpose of discussing personnel matters concerning the performance of specific RRTPO employees and pursuant to FOIA Section 2.2-3711A8 for purposes of discussion and consultation with legal counsel retained by the agency concerning these personnel matters, during which all recording of the meeting will cease. For purposes of the closed session, I'm extending an invitation from Mr. Chris Winslow, who is the chairman of Plan RVA, to attend that closed session. Do I have a second on the motion?
Second.
I have a second. Any discussion on the motion? Ms. Firestone, I believe you need to call the roll.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Town of Ashland, Mr. Hodges.
Aye.
Chesterfield County, Mr. Holland.
Aye.
Goochland County, Mr. Lumpkins.
Aye.
Ms. Laskolet.
Aye.
Henrico County, Mr. Thornton.
Aye.
New Kent County, Ms. Page.
Aye.
Powhatan County, Chair Williams.
Aye.
City of Richmond, Dr. Newbill.
Aye.
Thank you, Dr. Newbill. That concludes